approximately. Hi everybody. I don't need a microphone this time around. I've been waiting all day to tell you this, not even giving Misha any clue of the episode I had planned. And so this is my confession. Today, a friend of mine who I met in Sudan a lifetime ago, who's not really a friend, but he's a professional colleague, and we stayed friends on Facebook and stuff like this, reported that he got some really good gig with National Geographic, and that they were, I'm giving too much information away. I don't want to name anybody. I don't want to. This isn't about him or even about me. It's about the bigger question, and that's always what it is. But this guy is the handsomest dude in the planet on the flat Earth. He's the handsomest dude. And when I left with a little bit of a weird beef that I never quite figured out. But that's just because I left feeling a little bit weird. And that was a long time ago. This guy was just she was not even 3 years old when I came back. But meanwhile, this guy's done all kinds of good work. Newsweek, high-level photojournalism. And now he reported that he got a thing in National Geographic about the climate crisis, and frankly, it all makes my nose turn up because I am one of those hyper researchers and skeptics, but not even a skeptic. Like, I can put the dots together. It's about putting the clues together. So I kind of sputtered something really nonsensical, which you shouldn't do on Facebook. You really shouldn't troll your friends in any way with sputtering nonsense, and that's what I did today. So that's my confession. And then he replied something like, "You might get a full phrase out, a full sentence out eventually." And I said that I could put my sentences together just fine. It was mixing communities that I'm having a hard time with, because there are certain communities that I can be really honest with about the level of deceit that we're ripping through with our very eyes in our very lives. And then there's other communities who refuse to believe that the institutions that are all about us are actually somehow abetting and aiding in the crime of the epoch, which is that we're really on a still holy universal creation, and we're here to be good to each other, and the military and space budget is the crime, and there is no other crime besides the military, space, and the medical collusion that's happening to us right now. And then the rest of us have to run around like dogs every day, so that these guys can perpetuate some wacky lies. They're really, if you look into them and you balance it out, it's perturbed. It's weird how much sense it doesn't make. That there's always a foreign enemy. Turns out they're always bombing poor people. They're always bombing poor people in like Yemen or Somalia. It was Afghanistan where I met her mom. But what the hell were we doing in Afghanistan? Well, I don't know, but 10 years later, the opium production and the price of heroin is going way down in the United States. That's very strange. But it's not, because it's a history. So you put the clues together. We have other friends who were in Cambodia when they weren't supposed to be in Cambodia back in the day in the 60s, who saw opium being loaded on the what were they? The C-130s, the cargo planes. You military guys will know what I'm talking about. And this is an honest fellow who told me this, and he's not the first one. Who was the other journalist? Gary Webb from the San Jose Mercury News. He was the one who made it clear that the CIA was bringing crack cocaine into the inner cities, and they were using the money to fund illicit operations in foreign countries, specifically Central America, whatever, Nicaragua, El Salvador. So this stuff is all on the books, and then yet we believe everything we're told, and now I'm at the point where every news story, I'm wondering what the aim of the news story is. I'm not even believing anything that comes out of the reporter's mouth, because they can't tell the truth for a living if they want to keep their jobs. So here's the comedy routine. Here's where the comedy kicks in. You guys, whoever's by the printing presses, you guys printing the dollar bills, there must be somebody who can hear me, who has that job, who's printing the dollar bills. I just want to ask you nicely, back away from the press, slowly. Because of that printing press, we're all doing all this crazy nonsense. Some people have a job to bring monkeys over from Africa so that we can turn those monkeys' livers that we disease with disease into our vaccines. And that's got to be part of someone's job, because that's how we do it. So there's all these weird jobs. I think we should be gardeners and tailors. I need a tailor in my life, if I'm just going to go back to not having Chinese and Indonesian and Vietnamese clothes imported to me by H&M. We're going to have to figure out who's the tailor in the neighborhood, right? And who is the baker in the neighborhood. So here's how it goes. We do as much as possible in 4 blocks or so, and learn how to sew and how to garden and how to solve our own problems, like how to help all the people and all the plants and all the animals get along. No need to let the police in, except of course in the kitchen. But you'll have to drop your weapons, gents, and take off your boots first, because everybody's welcome to get some of this new tasty stew that lets me be me and honors you being you. I call it an unlock minestrone. We can unlock us, and I'll unlock me, and together I guarantee it'll be much more tasty than the stew that we've been swimming in. Now, some say you gotta work within the system to reach your lofty goals. And I say the system itself needs one long, hard look in the mirror. What are we here for? This country was founded on genocide and slavery, and there has been no redress. So what did you expect? This country was founded on genocide and slavery, and I'll change the lyrics when the situation merits. But meanwhile, there has been no redress, so what can we expect? Nice day. Anyway, we're here for good work. I'm sure of that. So for anybody who might be, and this, we're going to go a little sensitive. Whose products are we going to rep today? Do we have any products? Anybody in our family makes beautiful things that we can think of right now?
Happiness Schultz plays the vibraphone.
Yes, let's plug Happiness Schultz, because he is the grooviest dude we know, and he's not a unicorn, but he plays one on TV, and he's an amazing musician and carrier of the high vibration.
And he's for hire. Vibraphone goodness at any of your events.
And he actually can read music.
And compose.
So he's like he's the real shizzle. Okay, so good. On that note, I think I'm going this way, aren't I? Or straight ahead? This is way better than James Corden or Jerry Seinfeld, because we're not talking about nothing, and we're not hanging around with like $1 million pop stars. Because once you get in that, we're back to the money, printing the money. We've all gone so crazy for money. But if we just had our lives back and we didn't have to go to work, what would we do? Well, we'd want everybody to feel safe and happy. So why aren't we doing that? Why are people making depleted uranium munitions that we can rain down on somebody else's ass and not worry about? Well, anyway, I owe my daughter 50 cents for that one. Yo, what's up? So we're winding it up. Plugs, you know, we got Alex and I Shell out west. Of course, there's the Cacao, we're doing for Danny, Stephanie Frank. What else? Oh wait, here it is. Check it out. Just in case you have a little accident in the car, or your aura needs misting, or the 5-0, the Popo, come up on your side dough.
Show the product though?
There it is. Set.
Oh, you just said it. You keep moving it, and I can't get it to focus. Oh well.
Can you give him an explanation of how that smells?
You just want to keep inhaling.
Yeah.
You just want it to keep. You want it to keep going.
That's good.
It's real good.
Anyway, that was it for our mobile episode.
On the road.
On the road, Unlock Inc. Swords to plowshares.
Your entire career. But while you focused at the start about getting our younger generations excited about science, you now focus on reminding adults, we adults, the importance of science in our lives. And so are you surprised by that shift?
I'm not surprised that the troubling thing, let me put it this way. There are people running around today thinking that the earth might be flat. That is pretty frustrating.
Yes. So our conference theme this year, it's diverse voices, shared commitment. What does that mean to you?
Well, my big thing nowadays is, speaking of space exploration, when you look at the earth from space, we live on a ball, and yet it's a large enough movement that I'm even talking about it, that the earth might be flat.
Well, if I could follow up with that point.
Okay. You're going to be living in a dome, and when you go outside, you're going to put on a spacesuit, which is just a smaller dome.
So what strategies can we as international education professionals employ to better support our students focused on science study?
Everybody knows the earth is a sphere, right? Everybody knows that. You've seen the pictures, right?
Yes.
Or a geoid, very close to a sphere, yeah.
Your organization, the Planetary Society, advocates for space education and exploration.
Science.
So why is space exploration so important for today's global citizens?
The technology that derives from space is extraordinary. We wouldn't have the internet without NASA, for example. None of this would be possible without science.
What needs to be done now? What can we do to ensure our planet's health for the next generation?
We have people in Antarctica doing very important research, but you don't go there to raise your family. There's no playgrounds with swing sets and so on. So, a presidential candidate did not have a child trafficking ring in a pizza restaurant near the White House in the U.S. That didn't happen. And so, this is what the Planetary Society works on. The Earth is not flat.
Well, that was the perfect segue into my next question. You suggested that for the U.S. to remain globally competitive, it must be open to new ideas, many of which comes from scientific research. And so how can we as educators best communicate and convey the importance of evidence-based information with the...
Think about it globally. It's raising the standard of living of girls and women.
It is indeed.
But it's a hard thing to do. Barely. Anyway, we'd be getting it done. None of this would be possible without science. We're in it together. I'm uncomfortable too.
This world is not what you think it is.